Hello and welcome back to Jeff Walker Books Discussion. Today we're going to talk about, the whole UFO thing that's been going on. So they had a committee in the States basically having them confront the issue of their UFOs or UFPs, or UAPs, I should say. And as much as that's a spectacle unto itself, I'm not saying that they don't exist. I'm not saying that they do exist. What am I saying? I don't know. I'm saying that that there is something there, and that out of this committee, which was surprising to see a lot of Republicans there, or not, I think a lot of them are big conspiracy buffs themselves, so this was something that I think they were trying to blindside the American public with, especially that Gantz guy. He was just slimy as hell be. But I mean, they did want to get to the bottom of things, and this is a good start for the UFO community. Now, as to what this was supposed to generate, there's a lot of theories going around. One is that they are just doing this to blindside America from all the controversies going around the Republican Party right now with Donald Trump and all that going on. It's just another way to say, oh, look over here with my hand over here. Let's see what's going on here, shiny object. Then there's one that this is a way to militarize and legitimize Space Force, because it sounds to me like they want to create a sort of space military in order to control the amount of UAPs or I guess you could keep calling them UFOs because I can't say the other one. But it's a way to. It seems to me like they want to sort of control all that. I mean, they know there's something going on. They're not saying that they don't exist. They're saying that corporations know. Certain corporations know. Military. Black projects that are siphoning money out, and they have been noticing that there's been money going out, and that was something that came out of the committee, that they learned that there was like almost $1 billion going somewhere, but they don't know where. These whistleblowers that came in, one guy that works for a specific company he couldn't mention, and every time they asked him a tough question, he couldn't answer it. And I said, I get that, because, he's in fear of his life. There are people that want to silence this because they don't want the public to know. I think this is generating something that's going to expose the government in some way or form, that corporations are also in control of what's coming out. And as a direct result of this, I don't know. But I mean, it seems to me that it's got a two-sided effect. Yes, it's acknowledging what's happening, and then the other one is political gain. They had a very limited time to talk about things, which, they were trying to cram it all into one session. And now that I hear that there might be another session coming more, I guess, after whatever closed meeting they have with these whistleblowers, because the committee gets to hear all the other things he couldn't say out loud publicly, because they have to do it within discretionary means. So whatever comes of that, I don't know. But what they've gone on about acknowledging that there are things that ships, they didn't mention what kind of ships, but they had technology that they shouldn't have, and they were reverse engineering. He did say reverse engineering in there, and and the Tic Tac ones, they were acknowledging those things. The guy that was there that tracked it, who was on that Nimzit ship, Nimzit. Is that right? I don't know if I'm saying it right. Anyway, it was acknowledged that that technology is far beyond us, and far beyond what we're capable of doing. And what they were doing was maneuvers and speeds that were just not possible in our intellect, and we are so below them that they could have done anything to us at any given time, but they haven't. They haven't. And that's what I got from it. It's like, yes, they're scary. Yes, they're doing things that, we can't really control. But they haven't really done anything to us other than observe and maybe coerce some of the military installations. Because it sounds to me like they're more interested in what's going on with the military. Maybe they're trying to stop them from being harmed or interference, but they are interested in the nuclear programs or the nuclear weapons. Anything that's nuclear, they seem to be around. And that's what I gathered, that they're gathering evidence, or they're just really interested in the military aspects areas, like the major countries. I mean, they have gone to other countries. There has been, abductions. There have been sightings of ships and whatever. Now it makes me wonder if this is, they're not planetary explorers, but more of interdimensional explorers, because it sounds to me like they're interested in what we're doing because on some realm of another Earth, it's interfering with them. Perhaps that's why they are here, because the multiple universe theory, or an overlaying multiverse that's on the Earth, like in space and on Earth, maybe what we're doing is affecting them in their Earth. Maybe when we launch nuclear energies, it's tearing the fabric of space-time. We don't know. Maybe that's a possibility. Maybe they're not from our dimension. Maybe they're they could be from the future, but I don't think so. Sorry, I don't think they're from the future. I think that they are beings that exist in other levels of understanding that we can't comprehend. But the energy we produce seems to be sparking their interest. Now, maybe they're already here. Maybe they were here before us, because it seems like the ships are able to travel in the water, out of air, and into space with very little transition. So it sounds to me like they are capable of going anywhere they want. So then it makes you wonder, well, what's the purpose? Why are they here? They have probably tried to make contact with us a few times, but they probably don't think the way we do. They're interested in us. We're emotional. Probably they don't have emotions. They're probably more analytical than they are emotional. And they probably can't understand why we're so emotional beings. Maybe we're some sort of zoo, that this is where they study us. Maybe we're an experimentation that's been going on for however long. Like, each ship seems to be different. Does it come from a different time period? These are different time periods coming through. It leaves so many questions, and it scares a lot of people of the many possibility factors. But here's my thing. I don't think anybody should worry about it just yet. I think this is a slow, gradual introduction to what we're about to discover. And obviously it's going to be fearful. Obviously, people are afraid of what's different, and that happens to be the thing with humanity. Maybe this is a way to ease us into that, seeing how they know that we fear the unknown. But if they've been here for a long time and they've been constantly studying us, watching us, I think that there's something more going on that they're not telling us. That maybe there's more to it than what we think it is. Pardon my throat. I'm coming down with something, I think. But I think it's a good bet that the UFO situation isn't going to go away anytime soon. If anything, those few moments that they alerted it to us, I think they do it on purpose to say, hey, there's some places, some beings out there that are more advanced than you, so you better stop what you're doing and just start working on each other. And that to me sounds more feasible than, hey, we're coming to kill all of you, because it doesn't seem like they would have done that by now. Honestly, they would have. There's nothing to stop them. I mean, if their ships are going from point A to point Z in like a microsecond, I think that their level of destruction can be just as equal. So I think they're more here to observe, to study, because as a human species, maybe we've killed ourselves off in the future, and maybe these are all the aliens from the future coming back to say, hey, what happened to this planet? Why did they off themselves so much? Like I said, it could be varied. What came out of this meeting, I think, is acknowledgement that the government finally acknowledges that there are things going on. But in a way, I still think it was a political move to distract. And even though they had credible witnesses and the stories match up, I just think that it was a good side for either side. I mean, for one side, it gives the UFO community acknowledgement, and on the other side, it gives the political party the means to coerce public opinion. So it's kind of interesting that there's like the split alternative motive between the two of them. What do I think? Well, I think it's more than likely that there are things that are moving within our atmosphere. Like I said, I've touched on the point before that I did see something. I did see something move in the sky really quickly that shouldn't be able to move that fast. When I was staring up in the night sky, I saw something come close and then shoot away as fast as fast as anything. Like it was a bizarre sight, I'll say that much. And like I said, I had to deny it because I didn't want to be called out on it. But, I don't see why that should be the case anymore. I did see something. So, I think we should keep a careful watch on this. For a science fiction person such as myself, it's exciting, sure, and a little scary that this actually is happening. It doesn't feel like I said, one time I felt like we feel like we've slipped out of reality and moved into someplace else. It feels like as soon as the 2000s hit, something happened. Like the world just got bizarre. And I don't feel like we're in the same universe anymore. I feel like we slipped somehow, and we're into like this alternate future that just doesn't make sense. And that's what I feel. Maybe something changed in our past and caused this temporal shift. Or maybe it's just my own analytical mind trying to find something to explain all this craziness. But like I said, it's interesting. And then the whole UFO thing, I don't know what to expect from that. other than the fact that it's now given them some credibility. Now, it's easy to go through some of the images and explain them away because some of them are just really, really bad. Some of them are just pie plates and stuff like that, and some of them are a little harder to explain. Like the Tic Tac one. That, to me, seems interesting. And I remember watching the Bob Lazar, who worked on these Area 51 projects, and said that he saw a sports model of the spaceship. And when he saw the Tic Tac, he said, that's the sports model. And I'm beginning to think that that's true, because I would think these government contract places would love to get their hands on some of this technology. I don't think that they've managed to reverse engineer it totally, but I'm sure they've managed to create something similar to it. And I'm sure they've taken some of them for test drives, and that's why you see all these sightings. It's because these guys are trying to fly these machines and they don't know what they're doing. Which is why you saw some people get radiation burns because they were trying to vent some radiation out of the ship or something. There was one that happened in Canada where the guy was just, walking out, or just, doing a walkabout, and he encountered a spaceship that landed. And the door slid open and he didn't see anybody in there. And, did they have, it could have been just the AI running the machine. And the minute the door closed, he was the vents came on and burned him. Did they not see him there? I think the ship was on automatic, to be honest with you. And it's funny how they always go near water, and how they go to places where there's mountains or some sort of geological event. To me, I'm getting to think that that's a refueling process. That they go to places where there's a lot of magnetic energy and a lot of things that they can absorb. The water, for one, is a cooling system, probably, or a means of converting it to propulsion, which explains why some of them go to the water and then some of them dry up a lake. One area was complaining because the aliens were draining a lake and dried up all the lake because they were siphoning all the water up into their ships. And I think they're here for the resources, mainly, because there's an abundance of it. Our planet is full of resources, and I don't deny that. I mean, even in the cartoon of the Transformers, all the Transformers came to the planet because there was an abundance of energy, something that was lacking on their planet. So that's another possibility. I'm not saying that that's directly derived from that, but it's interesting to see that there are some similarities in some ways. But so UFOs, interesting. We'll definitely watch to see where this goes. I've been a big fan of that for years. I watched a lot of YouTube videos that were faked, and you could tell some of them were faked. Some of them were believable to a point. There was one where it said the shuttle was attacked, and yet these guys were talking as if it was an ordinary day. So that alone made me go, But it was found out that it was a fake, because the guy was trying to create a lifelike shuttle scene for space, and it was floating in water. And once you start going through the process, you could tell. So it's funny the debunking going on as well, and but that's the thing of this today. You've got AI voiceovers, AI regenerations. You've got film that can be totally duped and faked. So it's hard to take anything seriously. It's hard to break that down anymore. It's blurring the reality lines. And I think that's what they want. They want us to think that it's all fake. But if that's the case, why would you go to such lengths? I don't know. Maybe to silence the public. And I think the corporations are trying to keep us in this mainstay of of not progressing too far because they like how we're going with all the money, and they just want to keep it going. But then that's my theory, and that's one of the things I'm theorizing about. So that's my theory. That was my conversation on this topic. I'd like to hear what you think. What do you think? What did you think of the whole meeting? If you watched it, of the Congress meeting about the UFOs or UAPs, what do you believe about the whole UFO instance? Do you believe most of the story, or are you a big skeptic, or are you a hard-earned believer? I'd like to know. It's fascinating. I like discussing it, and let me know your thoughts and feelings on it. And I'll definitely have to keep in touch about it. Okay, and I'll talk to you later. And that's it for today. Thank you very much.